Be a leader. Be a leader. Be a leader. You change the country. Thank you and God bless.
Today we'll be having a conversation, and I'll be joined by 3 panelists in this conversation. She leads the legal aid unit at Daystar Christian Church, Daystar Christian Centre, and she's deeply committed to advocacy, good governance, and nation building. With Jesus' joy, please welcome Gbemisola Adenuga. You can do better than that. You're welcome. He is a seasoned lawyer with extensive experience in legal practice, policy, and advocacy. He has contributed significantly to advancing legal thought, civic engagement with a strong interest in governance, justice, and nation building. His expertise and passion for national development position him as a valuable voice in conversation on Nigeria's future. As a panelist, he brings a wealth of legal insight, practical experience, thought leadership, and we enrich the dialogue. Please welcome with me Tunde Esan. Yeah, you're welcome, sir. The future, they say, belong to the youth. I can't hear that. The future, they say, belong to the youth. Indeed, she's a dynamic, young, articulate storyteller. She's a public speaker and a youth advocate passionate about nation building, civic responsibility. As a former lead of the Nigerian Youth Network, she mobilized young Nigeria to register to vote responsibly, pray for the nation, and engage in civic conversation. Through her work with the Unapologetic Company, she continues to inspire a generation to embrace faith, good citizenship, and personal responsibility in shaping Nigerian future. She is Omotola Olori. Please help me welcome. Okay. Politics is the nerve center of modern society. It's a major determinant of the distribution of state resources and power. Stated simply in our last word's conclusion, politics is who gets what, when, where, and how. In liberal democracy, participation and civic engagement in the democratic process is a sine qua non for a viral, developed, and sustainable society for common good. Democracy was real, in other words, only when it involved the participation of an informed, rational electorate. For an Italian political sociologist, Norberto Bobbio, liberal democracy assumes that citizens, quote, once they are entrusted with the right to choose who govern them, are sufficiently well informed to vote for the wisest, the most honest, the most enlightened of their fellow citizens, unquote. The defining characteristics of democratic governance are constitutionality, participation, political choice, and rational choice. Those who participate in democratic process must comprise what Bobbio terms a substantial proportion of the people. Is that the reality of the Nigerian democratic experience? We'll find out. The imagined and intended purpose of democracy is to get as many people as possible to participate in the process. However, low voters turnout undermines the value of democracy, which invariably makes democracy become government of the minority. The inactive participation of majority makes democracy the tyranny of the minority. Those who fail to participate in the political process have lost the right to complain over the outcome of public governance. The winner of election invariably the winner of election in democracy are determined by the active minority and not the silent majority. The citizen, the supreme office. Citizen in a democracy is more than a legal status. It is an ethos that guides relationship among the process and fires individual commitment to fundamental principle of democracy. The role of citizen in democracy under the principle of popular sovereignty, the citizen collectively occupy the supreme office of democracy and holds the ultimate authority. The ultimate authority includes not only final decision-making power over who holds public office, but also the power to make and reconsider constitution. Tonight, we'll be having a conversation on citizen and nation building. Thank you for joining us. So I'll start with you, Gbemi, for your opening remark. Citizen, the role of citizen in nation building.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you again, Jide. JJ.
Yeah.
All right. So when it comes to citizens' participation, I like the introduction that you've given. It more or less summarizes the situations we found ourselves. As much as citizens' participation is fundamental, many of us have abandoned it. We would say democracy is government for the people, by the people, to the people. But once the people have refused or abjugated their responsibilities, the decisions still have to be made. Things have to be done. What would happen? The decisions will be made, and whatever becomes the final decision is what carries the day. So if as citizens we neglect or refuse to take on the responsibilities that are fundamental, what you find is you will have to live by it. The foundation of democracy is the people. So if the people forget that they are the foundations, people don't get into positions, there must be an election. So if at the place of election you refuse to vote, if it's 5 people that vote, the election did not say that the majority of all Nigerians, it's just the majority of who votes. So it is important that as citizens, we realize that at the end of the day, nothing in democracy can come into play if the citizens are not involved. But if you refuse, neglect, choose to abandon your responsibilities, those that go there and achieve it, and the results that come out, we all need to live by it. So citizenship is fundamental to democracy and to nation building. Thank you.
Thank you. Bayo, Tunde, your opening remark on the theme of our discussion.
Thank you for having me here. Whatever you see Nigeria has become, it's our collective decision. So the Nigeria that you see today is what you've made it to be. You can't say it's a Tinubu's problem. You can't say it's a Babangida's problem. It's our collective responsibility. I've been here for a while. You know, I've been on this journey for well over 5 decades. I've never met anybody called Nigeria. Nigeria is just a mere geographical space. And you know the interesting thing about it? People determine how you live your life. You can choose to be somebody who is acted upon, or you can be the one to lead to say, this is the way that Nigeria will go. It's up to you. But please don't complain. What is the cop-out method? Oh, I'm going to Japa. I will leave Nigeria. I will flaunt all our Canadian passport with my second citizenship. But if your country is going to be great, it's going to be your decision. Let me tell you something. Whatever you are seeing now is the decision of the people who have chosen to lead you. And if you think that there are no people benefiting from what Nigeria has become, then you're very incorrect. You think the system is messed up. Believe me, tens of millions of people are benefiting from the way Nigeria is today. And the Bible talks about the fact that if you are going to change the system, you are not only going to get involved, you are going to overpower the system. Say, which of you will go into a strong man's house and loot his goods without first binding him? If you're not ready for that journey, then don't complain. Find your passport, go to London, go to America, and become their citizen. But if you're going to make Nigeria the Nigeria of your dream, you know what you're going to do? You will stand up and you will fight. You will not only fight, you will replace the system as it is. If you're not ready for that, please just keep quiet, enjoy your London, enjoy your America, enjoy whatever. But if you're going to change it, I was watching that program. Hope is not a rank. Hope is not a rank. You will stand up. You will fight. You will change the system. You will impose your own system. Whatever Nigeria becomes is the dream you make it to be. Please don't complain. Stand up, walk, build the Nigeria of your dream. Thank you.
Thank you. We have listened to the perspective of the older generation, and let's take Omotola's view, representing the Gen Z generation.
I think at this point, there's so much pressure on me. I have to represent all of us. Right? Okay, so...
Can feed on their energy. Give us some vibes. Show us some love. Show us some love.
Oh, my God. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I think that they've said a lot of it. And it's the fact that the Nigeria that we know is not just Nigeria as a geographical landscape, but it's Nigerians. That means you and I. I think that we live in a generation where the stakes are so high because we have 4 generations existing at the same time, and most of us are resigned. Most of us are tired before we even started, right? And I'm sure that this conversation, first off, is very important for us to have. Nation building is not just politics. It's not just government. It's what we do in our personal lives. It's what we do as professionals. It's what we do in politics and what we do in the public. So it's a holistic conversation that we're going to have tonight. And I really want us to be very, very open-minded. I want everyone in my generation to be open-minded to the possibility that you can do something, that there is something you can do. And honestly speaking, I wasn't very hyped about this Independence Day. It's very ironic. I'm usually not like that. I love Nigeria. I love Nigeria so much, but I genuinely wasn't very hyped because of the things that have been happening. However, 2 things keep me going, and I think that they should also make you consider certain things. Number 1, have you done everything possible within your power to contribute to the change that you want to see in Nigeria? And number 2, the second thing that keeps me going is, so long as I'm in a community like Daystar, so long as I am hearing the things I'm hearing, growing as a leader, and there's so many of us also experiencing the things that I'm experiencing, then I'm really hopeful for the future of Nigeria.
Thank you. You can do better than that for her. Please, you can start dropping your question in the link. There's a link. We want to make this as much as possible, participatory as much, to take feedback from you and so that the panelists can answer your question. Please go to the link, drop your question. The questions will be asked. You raised a valid issue when it comes to nation building, and which is for us not to give up, particularly the younger generation. And for me, the scripture is very, very instructive when it says that who amongst you say to this mountain, be thou removed, and you do not doubt in your heart. That talks about being consistent and being persevering in whatever you face. And then when you look at the story of Nehemiah in the Bible, which is about nation building, rebuilding the nation. So what counsel would you provide for the younger generation to get involved in the supreme office of democracy, which is the citizen? Because without the citizen, there won't be democracy.
Thank you so much for that question. Okay, so first of all, I think that I like the fact that you referenced Nehemiah. Nehemiah is one of my favorite characters in the Bible. And it's because of his heart for his country, for his nation. And for me, I did not arrive at the place where I was just like, oh, Nigeria is going to be great. Nigeria. I didn't arrive there just like that. What had happened was I started to see a lot of problems that bothered me. I just saw problems everywhere. And I think that the first step for us as young people is to take responsibility for those problems. First, take responsibility. You don't even have the answer. You don't have the solution first, but take responsibility. And I think that Nehemiah, which is, like I said, a great example, what he did was he heard of the problems of, I think it was Jerusalem, that the walls were broken down. And what did he do? He carried the burden to God in prayer, which was also what I did when I saw all the things that were going on. I carried the burden to God in prayer. And I genuinely told him that I was tired. I was tired of Nigeria, and Nigeria had not even happened to me much, but I was already tired. And I asked him to give me a heart for the country. And that was what I got, a heart. And when I say heart for the country, literally opened my eyes to see that the Nigeria that we think is not, like I said, a geographical landscape. It is the people. And I saw Nigerians struggle in my, obviously, prayer. When I was praying, I saw Nigerians struggling, Nigerians were troubled, and I literally felt the heart of God. And that was for me the first step to even being open-minded, to even starting to search, what can I do to make a difference? And that was when I started the Nigerian Youth Network. Pray about it. Pray about the issues that really bother you. One of the things that, one of the mindsets that we've learned here is that if something really bothers you, then you are probably most likely the person to do something about it, because that's a burden God has given you. So if you are thinking there's an issue in education, there's an issue in the medical world, there's an issue in this industry, whatever it is, know that that's your burden. Take it to God in prayer. Ask him to give you a vision for that sector. And I promise you, from there on out, you will know exactly how you can participate and how you can make a difference.
Thank you. Can we put our hands together for her? Tunde, someone is asking, I'm honestly tired of believing in Nigeria. Many times I feel helpless on how to move the nation forward. Can I really make an impact?
You should leave. Those who will build it will stay. Now let me tell you something. Nigeria's problems are man-made problems. They were created by human beings. They will be solved by human beings. Do you understand what I'm saying? They were created by human beings. They will be solved by human beings. And I will tell you something. 12 spies were sent to go spy out a land. 10 came back with horrendous stories. 2 said, you know what? I can take this land. They saw the good in the land. If you go to the innermost part of Katsina today, go to the innermost part of Ekiti State, you will see Chinese and Lebanese and all sorts of people go into the deepest recesses of Nigeria and bringing out the wealth. What do? Oh, I'm tired of Nigeria. Then leave. You know what? It is not as difficult as you think. What they've done is to create this mirage that Nigerians' problems are insurmountable. They are not insurmountable. They are human problems. They will be solved by human beings. And I'll say, it's not going to be solved by a whole lot of people. Like she said, it's going to be solved by just a few of you saying, you know what? Now nobody has to wear it here. If they can mess up the country, we can fix the country. It's just a few of you saying that, I will take this country. I will take responsibility for this country. I will move people to change this country. It's a thankless job. Go back to the Bible. What did they tell Moses? Oh God, who made you a leader over us now? That was when he rose up. That was the person that decided, who made you a leader over us? Which one are you telling us? Do you want to kill us like the way you killed the Egyptians? It's a thankless job. But if you have that burden in your heart, there are loads and loads and loads and loads of other young people, older people, grandpas, who want to change. But human beings don't have the capacity to lead themselves. They have to be led. You see, you have to be, what's the word? You have to be selfish enough to say, I'm going to impose my template. God leading me on this country. I'm going to get people of my like, and we impose, because about templates. One of the major problems of what you call revolution is this: you will burn down your country without a replacement. What do you have in your heart as the Nigeria of your dream? I'm not looking for consensus. What do you have in your own heart as the Nigeria of your dream? Begin to get people of like mind. Let me ask you a question. How many of you can tell me who your councillor is? You don't know. You don't care. If I ask you in your local government, how much allocation have they got this year? Okay, no, I know. I didn't say everybody. There's somebody. Most people don't know who the councillor is. Even the local government chairman. How much allocation has he received this year? You don't know. You know why you don't know? Because you don't care. Start from the place of caring. Nigeria is redeemable, and Nigeria will be redeemed. Those who can't wait, let them move. Those who will change it, let them stay behind. We will change this country.
Thank you. That's tough love. You are giving them tough love. Okay. Well, there's a saying in our local dialect that if two brothers should enter the same room and have a conversation and they come out smiling, means that they are not telling each other the truth. But however, if they come out frowning, I guess that's the approach Tunde has taken this evening. Okay. Gbemisola, how should we respond when the majority appear to have been influenced into choosing an option that logically seems unworkable? That majority seems to be going like the 10 spies, and you want to be Joshua and Caleb.
Be Joshua and Caleb. Very simple. Why do you have to follow the crowd? Were you born or chosen or built to follow the crowd? You have to stay. When Paul talked about the armor, what was the end? He said, having done all, stand. The challenge many of us have is the place of standing. You are just standing. That is where we either lose it, we lose faith, we get discouraged. But what do you do in the place of standing? Who is standing with you? A number of Christians go into politics, go into governance with good intentions, but at the end of the day they fall because there's nobody to stand with them. But there are some that still stay because they have their support system. And the challenge with many of us is we are the voice of condemnation. You are the same people that will bring down the person that is trying to make a difference instead of being an encourager. We don't encourage ourselves. Somebody sinned. Oh, he was caught in adultery. I always knew. How is it your business? Do you know your own? Instead of you to pray for the person, the Bible says pray for those in government. For the fact that Tinubu is there, you should be praying for him. For the fact that President Tinubu is there, you should be praying for him. We were discussing in house fellowship once, and I remember saying that God does not need President Tinubu to be born again. Cyrus was not born again. But Cyrus was a tool used to rebuilding Jerusalem. He was the one that gave back all that Nebuchadnezzar had taken and returned it. Then he now gave instructions. The king after him gave instructions that governors in the area should provide materials that were used to rebuild. It is not about being born again. Let's forget that. Indeed, God wants these people to be born again. But if they are not, it doesn't stop you from praying for them. One, pray for them. That tomorrow, the person that is there will cooperate with the plan of God. Even the devil cooperated with the plan of God. He helped Jesus to get to the cross. He just didn't realize. So stop looking at things that you do not understand. Because there are many things that we don't understand. The devil did not know that he was working in God's plan. You don't know whether God has said this person will be born again in 2050. You are now worried that he's not born again now and he's the president. How is it your business? God has assigned you to be Joshua and Caleb. Be Joshua and Caleb. When the thing did not happen at the time it was meant to happen, Joshua and Caleb did not get annoyed. They did not kill the 10 spies that did not allow it to happen. When it was the time for them to go, the two were alive and they took the nation. So be Joshua and be Caleb. And if you have to wait, you have to stand. Joshua had Caleb. Caleb had Joshua. Pictures why when it was time to enter into the land, there were no issues. So if you feel that the majority is not going, go back to the person that sent you a message. God, what do I do? He will find your Joshua and he will find your Caleb for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gbemisola. Somebody is asking this question, and any one of you can take it. He said, what is the role of the church in nation building beyond prayers?
You know, for me, they will answer the question as well. If you have a problem with prayers, then you have a problem with me. If that question is coming from a place of flippancy, then there's a problem because you have to pray anyway. And I will use Daystar as an example. I've been here for 23 years, 24, I've been here forever. If there's one thing that Pastor Sam has done, is that he has raised men, he has raised women, he has raised leaders. And that's what every church should do. Raise leaders, raise people who are passionate about their country, who will say this country will work. Now, having said that, now whether you want to run with that the pastor has preached from the pulpit, the choice is yours. But trust me, we're having this is nation building, this conversation. I just want you to go with one thing tonight. The problem is not as difficult as you think. Sit back. Drop a map. It's a small piece. Nigeria is not big. Drop a map for it, and you will lead it, and you will lead it right. You've heard enough from this pulpit. I'm not speaking for all pulpit, and I'm not here to condemn the church. I don't have that capacity. But I will speak for Daystar. The word has gone forth. Run with the word that you've heard. And I'm telling you something. This country will not remain the same again. Thank you.
I want to ask a question. That's to the general audience. How many of us are registered voter? Please raise up your hand. I'm not ashamed of the gospel of Christ. It is the power of God unto salvation. First to Daystar member, and then to... Okay, can we put our hands together for ourselves? Well, for those of us that have not registered, there is continuous voters registration. You need to register. It is very, very important. There is a critical component of democracy, which is required of the citizen, which is voting in election. Why do we think that what is derived during election is called mandate? The word mandate is a combination of two words, man and date. And what is it that they use to declare the winner? It is your thumbprint. The date that you surrender your rights and your privileges to the elected representative to act on your behalf. So a date is chosen for you, and on that date, you surrender your sovereignty to that person, whether you vote or you do not vote, as long as that date is chosen and somebody secures the mandate, it will control your destiny. It will control my destiny. It will control all our destiny. I was saying it offset. It's clear. If, for example, children yet unborn, when they learn that for close to a year, the whole society was closed, they will say it's not possible. Yes or no? During COVID, they will say it's not possible. But those that took that decision, they were not religious leaders. They were who? Political leaders. So go and register and to vote and perform your civic responsibility.
Add to that question. In answer to that question, before I answer, how many people voted during the local government election? How many? So you see, the person that asked that question, that's the first place. Let me tell you some of the things that I have done to let you know that we make it look as if it's a big deal. So how do you eat an elephant? You start by bits. The organization that I do stuff with, Global Leadership Conference, when we started, it's big. And I just one day told the ED, what is the one thing that we should do? Let's just start. We started, we've been building, and in the course of that, we had opportunity to meet with different local government chairmen, the councillors, and we asked them, give us an insight. Let's understand how the local government even runs. Because you'll just be surprised. At the end, the access that we had to get these people was because we were doing something. So if you're not doing anything, you're already at a loss. So find someone that is doing something and join them. Today, between last year and this year, I've given like 4 talks on understanding local governance from that communication that we had with these people. So you can do anything. But if you just think that, oh, this thing is so great, it's so big, it's such a big problem, what can I do in the circle that is around me? How can I even start? In your residents association, do they know you? During one of those meetings, because our focus is actually churches, so we meet a lot of pastors, ministers, and we found that there's some people that are actually active, and they were glad to meet with us because they were also meeting oppositions from Christians. And he gave a scenario where there was a pastor that in his community, they had written to Lagos State to ask to close his church. So Lagos State the ministry involved had invited him. When he got to the meeting, they asked him a simple question. Are you involved in your community? There's what you call the Community Development Associations at the local government, CDAs. They asked him, are you involved? He said no. They just told him, go and get involved. And once he started getting involved, that was how that request to get him out of that area died. So if you think that it is just one grand thing, there's so many levels in which you can get involved. What are the CDAs doing? What is a CDA? How do you be part of a CDA? If you are a shop owner in a local government area, you are indirectly part of a CDA because the market women associations are part of CDAs. So start at the local government level. Leave the governor and the president. By the time the local government chairman knows that other than my godfather, there are some people that, my godfather has put me there, but there are some people that if I don't also appease them, my re-election may be on shaky legs. Then we'll start seeing a difference. So let them know that there are some people in this area that are very also powerful. Don't go alone. Go as a community. When you see one person coming, they may not answer you. But when they see 20 people come to the local government, they will wonder, who are these people? And they will start to look for you. So take action. Don't be concerned about the size. If it's one thing that you want to make a difference in, focus on that and go for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Omotola, he said, how can we as Christians and citizens speak to youth dejected by Nigerian electoral system as struggling to differentiate between propaganda and facts?
So can you repeat the question?
Okay, he said, how can we as Christians and citizens speak to youths dejected by the Nigerian electoral system and struggling to differentiate between propaganda and facts?
So I'm guessing that this person is not the youth, and they're asking how to reach the youth.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that one of the easiest ways to convince young people that you are real is to be authentic. And we need to see your sincerity. We need to see your track record. We need to see your heart beyond what you say, beyond what is presented to us. We need to see that this person genuinely cares. And I know that this is a church stage and there are some things I can't make reference to, but there are young people who would back up somebody who we know is a good leader. You're a good leader. We can see what you do. We can see your heart. We see your contribution to community, to society, in any capacity. It's very easy to, what's the word? Young people are not difficult to reach. Young people are not difficult to reach. And I would use Pastor Sam as an example. If Pastor Sam says he wants to run for office, or he wants to rally us for anything, we would follow him because we've seen him as our leader. We've seen him as a leader. And I think that for whoever that person is, I think we just need to see authentic leadership from the person to trust enough in their intention for trying to rally us to support or to be active participants. Thank you.
Okay. Tunde, I'm coming to you. Yeah, I said when faced with terrifying violence while exercising your right to vote, do you risk your life just to make your vote count, or do you go home?
The consensus is you go home. That seems to be the consensus.
Well, but that's contradictory.
No, seriously. Let me tell you something. Who are the people who perpetrate this violence during election? Thugs. That is the second level. Let me give you an example. If you come to the area where I live, Ogudu or Jota, if you go for a ward meeting of APC or PDP or Labour Party, you know who the chairman is? Muftau, your mechanic. You know who the secretary is? Chinedu, the spare parts seller along Ojota Road. You know the implication of that? Even the people who will select, those who will represent you, they are people who do not even have capacity to define what democracy is because you do not participate. How many of you attend the ward meetings? No, you are not even members of the political. So the market woman is the one who determines who the candidate is in the first instance. We are coming to the violence part. But imagine that you populate a party, your APC, your Labour Party, whatever you belong to. Imagine you populate it with your own candidate. Imagine that you are the one determining who becomes what. Would that violence arise? The answer is no. You are not even involved in the preliminary stages. You are dealing with the end stages. Oh, who is the candidate of Labour Party? Who is the candidate of APC? Who is the candidate of PDP? That is the second level. You've never been involved in the preliminary stage of determining who becomes the candidate of any of these parties. Now, when you get to the point of, do you run away from violence? It depends on your constitution. Because even the thug, even the armed robbers, even the member of NURTW, Agbero, they want good governance. Why are they risking their lives for 20K, 30K? How much are you giving to them? Why do they come out? You think if you present a candidate from amongst the people, that is their person, that they know that this person is going somewhere, they will come out to fight. And I will say something, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it from the pulpit, because it's a pulpit. I will tell you something. No matter how mad you are in your area, there's somebody who will tell you, Oga, sit down. You know that. If you come to the street, we are church people, we are not street people. But if you come to the street, we are going to Oga. That mad person, that mad boy, how many are they? He has people in that area who can tell him, no, sit down. And you know what? He will sit. But what effort, in the 4 years in between, what efforts have you made to reach those people? That boy smoking Igbo, that Gbemisola smoking Igbo by the street. Have you reached out to him to say, Nigeria can be better? Nigeria can be better than your 30K or 20K that they are giving to you. It's a lot of hard work. But it is not difficult. Believe me, I don't care whether you run or you stay. But these things are just mirages. They are set up to make you afraid. Oh, the talks will come and kill you. Something happened in Lagos in 2023. I won't go into the details. A lot of things happened in the presidential election that we never thought could happen. And didn't it happen? Were the talks not there? We can't go into the details. You know what I mean. But we're all adults. You know what I'm talking about. Elections results in Lagos, they were like, how did that happen during the presidential election? But it happened because people planned. There are people who will stand and the talks won't even be able to come to that area. It is a lot of hard work. 4 years planning. Between 2023 and 2027, 2 years gone, what have we done to ensure that 2027 is better than 2025? I don't think a lot. 4 years. 4 years. There's that child who is 16 years old who will vote in 2027. What are you doing to reach him? I'll tell you something. Will you run or you stay? I don't care what you do in 2027. It's long. Nigeria is just 65 years. Can you begin to reach out to all strata, all segments of society? Even those you call thugs, you think they don't want a better society? What they do. But it's going to take a lot of talking to for them to tell that young boy, sit down. Well, that's the truth. Thank you.
Let me just add this. using biblical illustration. You know, the 7 sons of Skephas. Paul, I know. Do they know you in your neighborhood? If you have reached out to them in your neighborhood, there's no talk they bring to your neighborhood, as long as there's a common parlance we use in my local dialect. When you minister, in actual sense, we are sent to minister to the unchurched people. You know what they call you? They call you Egbon Adugbo or Auntie Adugbo. If you minister to them, if you reach out to people in the community and they know that you service that community, I can assure you, I can't talk about personally about myself, because if I talk about that, I don't know. I have voted in every election that I've turned 18. And I have challenged people with trying to manipulate the process, even holding weapons. Because I know them and they know me in the community. That's one of the areas in which if you really invest in your community, if you reach out to people, if you minister to them, it is even the community that will protect you when this thing comes out. But in most cases, we Christians, we believe that politics, getting involved in it is not part, but that's not the Daystar model. Before we transit to A3C, and I hope we can do that, and for those that are just new, we can go back to the national development, national health messages that we preached, the last series of messages that Reverend preached while we are in 71, Oregon, the series on national development, preparing us for the challenges of this present time. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so he said, please let us address Nigerian claiming that the country is bad, but they keep doing things they can't try in other countries. They want to jackpot to, e.g., littering, urinating, one-way, running red light. Gbemi, I want you to say things they can't do abroad, they can do on board in Nigeria. Because if you are not abroad, you can be on board.
The person that brought out the question has sort of answered. Why would you know when you travel, you can't try all this abroad, but because Nigeria is anyhow, you do anyhow. So, what's today? I think it was Monday morning. I was coming to Okpebi roundabout to make a U-turn. And for those that have been in that axis, you know that they are working on the road, they're expanding the road. So that place always has traffic. So on the other side, a car comes out and takes the other way. And I was like, is this guy normal? He was going to the building just after the streets. So, because I'm just going like this, and he entered, but there was a policeman in front. So they carried his car, even though he was inside his compound. And I was like, that just makes sense. The policeman that carried your car, you will argue with him because, of course, they were arguing. But you were in the wrong. You took the wrong way. Something that if you know you were in another country, you will go the right way. They don't born you well. They don't born you. Why can't you start it now? Why can't you make sure that you are going the right way here? I am the person that will stay at the traffic light. They are hooting. They are cursing. When you are tired, you either pass beside me and go on your way, or you wait till the traffic light changes. Let me be the only person. I know that in my heart of hearts, I've done the right thing. I'm not looking to please you, Because a lot of times we may just want to be please, oh, everybody is going, except maybe last man says, oh, go, or they say the traffic light is not working, and, different situations. But I will be the person that will do that. Can you make that your commitment? Make it your personal commitment. So for those that attended GLS, there was one of the ladies that made a statement. She said, I rent my title, but I own my character. And I was discussing with a friend of mine. We hadn't spoken in a long time. She's a GMD in where she works. And, we were just talking about different things, going through work, what was happening, office politics, and loads of that. And I made that statement to her, and she said, do you know what? This has just made my day. I understand perfectly. So own your character. And people see. My street was recently being worked, they were renovated, and the person that you never see me in my street. Yeah, people know me, and I contribute, but I don't walk around. Rarely do you see me walking around. So in the last 2 months, my car has been parked on the road because they were laying pavement blocks. So people see me on the road now, and they're like, yeah, you and this. So I was now more conscious of the fact that people know me and understand my character. So if you think they do not know you, they know you. What character do you live every time you walk around? It should be what is important. Are you the Jesus of today to everybody? So whether it is traffic light or whether it is the majority is doing the wrong way, live your character and be the example. Tomorrow, you may just be the one person that another youth, a Gen Z, needs to build on. So let's focus on just being the Jesus that other people can see and build on. Thank you.
Sorry, JJ, before you. Let me just say something. Somebody called me on Monday. She said she crossed the Ojota Expressway and she was picked up by Kai. They don't put me inside Black Market. Then they carry me, go Shodio. I said, when they've taken inside Kirikiri, call me. I'm not going to move. You are calling me that you breach the law and she call me stand for you. No, I'm not that guy. I won't do that. But she found her way out. You know the way it is. But I will tell you something today. It's not difficult. It's not. See, you want to go and get your passport. Somebody's asking you for money. Don't give that money. Engage the system. These people will pull back. They don't have the capacity. You have a lot of cowards in positions of power. If you fight back and you have a different platform, you have your Twitter, you have your Instagram, you can call out anybody. They don't want to be called out. And you too, don't be the guy that goes to a government office, you are looking to bribe somebody. Insist on the right thing being done. Make all of the noise. That's how you build a nation. Own your country. It's not difficult. They are creating unnecessary fear for you. Stand. You don't need a crowd. Oasis of sanity, just a few of you, and it begins to spread. It's a ripple, it begins to spread. Stand up for this country, confront the old order, impose your own order, and build the nation that you want. Thank you. God bless.
Oh, wonderful. Now, Omotola, nation building starts from the individual, but what goes on in the educational sector? Question mark. There is, I'll use one fella, Anikulapo's Orodihun. Say what goes on in the educational sector. What do you have to say?
What goes on in the educational sector? I'm not sure I understand that question.
That's the question. Said nation building starts from the individual, but what goes on in the educational sector? Probably the role of the educational sector in civic education, empowerment, and preparing the new generation for the challenges ahead.
I agree. Okay, I understand now. Thank you. I think that this is, for me, very personal, very dear, because the average person spends literally from childhood till adulthood in the education system. And we spend more time in school than at home during those periods, because you're in school for longer periods of time, and you're being shaped and formed by teachers, being shaped and formed by curriculum. And I think that, so recently there was this scenario at a university where they had banned students from signing out, just signing out. And I think some of the students wanted to sign out, and they started to do that. And there was this, security officials manhandled the students who were trying to basically sign out, right? And I think that, obviously, that caused a lot of rave on the internet, because even though it was a rule that you should not break this rule, and this student broke it, there was a treatment. There was an oppressive way of handling that situation. And I think that in the education system in Nigeria, a lot of work has to be done, because we need to start considering building not just for now, but for the future. We need to start considering really what are the challenges that we have presently, and what are the challenges that we would have in the years to come. Like, there's just so much to it, from the curriculum to the teachers, to training teachers, to exposing students even to basic life skills. So I don't know if my answer can be concrete enough, but the role of education in nation building is so important, because what you put in a mind is what you get out of a life. And whatever we see in our nation is just a result of the systems that we have in place. But then the thing again is that these systems are run by people. And so even if we have the best curriculum, even if we have the best of initiatives and plans, it's still going to come down to the ability of those who are supposed to impact this knowledge to actually do the job. So for me, it's not just about fixing the problem at a peripheral level. I think that there needs to be a vision for the country. There needs to be a direction so that everyone walks hand in hand. Every system, every part of the education system would work together to actually build that individual that can go out into the society and impact the society. That's what I think.
Thank you. Gbemi, I want to ask you a question, and I want each and every one of you to use that as your closing remark as we are rounding up. There's this question, and there's this saying we have: Nigeria has happened to you. That's the question somebody asked. How do you advise or counsel someone that Nigeria has happened to not to give up? So I take.
Okay, so before I go to that question, I want to add to what Omotola said. Education starts in your house. As parents, you are the first educators. So what do you put in that child that the child is taking to school? So, we go for PTA. You said, I don't say idiot in my house. I don't know where the child got it from. He got it from someone else's child. So, do you say idiot in your house? Do you say stupid? So, recently I'm an integrative coach. So, I was telling my daughter, you don't try. You don't try to stand up. You stand up. So, you do it. I don't have no problem with if you fail. You would do it again. You're not trying. You're doing it. You keep doing it till you get it right. So, education starts in the house. We must start teaching our children leadership. When they learn, they take it outside. And if all of us are doing the right thing, then the children learn the right thing. And then they build a next generation. How did Joshua build the next generation? They said that when the next generation were being born, from when they were 7, they were taken away from the old men that died in the wilderness. So they did not learn that culture. which was why when it was time to enter into the land, they had the capacity because they had a new mindset. So you must start as parents to train your children with a new mindset, even though they were still in the wilderness, but they were learning a new mindset. And that goes to that same question. A new mindset. I do not understand what you mean by Nigeria happened. Nigeria happened to me, and I got a contract this week. I don't understand when you people say Nigeria. Now, how did Nigeria happen to you? I don't know. It is what you see that you will get. I don't see negativity. Yes, there are the potholes, but I'm thinking, how do I solve this? I do not look. People call me to solve their problems as a lawyer. And I help them, and I give you options. We can go this route, or this route. Which one do you want to go on? I never see this negativity. This statement, I've heard it, but I don't understand it. For those that understand it, your own. Nigeria happened to me. I'm expecting $1 million contract. So take it from the angle you want. If you want it from an angle of negativity, so be it. If you hunt it from an angle of positivity, so be it. Nigeria is happening to me. My business is growing. Thank you.
Tunde.
Okay, I will go back to our position first before I answer the question. Interestingly, growing up, I had my first letter of admission in 86. How many years ago? 40 years ago to university. It was the dullards in the country who went abroad to school. This Abad that you want to go to, this Yale that you want to go to, it was the student who couldn't pass JAM. The very dull ones who went to school in America. Then what happened to us? What changed? It wasn't a choice destination. You didn't want, if anybody told you that your child was schooling in America, the first thing,
You look back and say,
it was for the dullards. But right now it's like, oh, my child is in Yale, my child is in Oxford. Everybody wanted to go to Ibadan. Everybody wanted to go to Ife. And we, the next level, wanted to go to Benin. So what happened to the country? What happened to all of us? And it's the same thing with this, your Nigeria happened to you. Are you a follower or are you a leader? You are consuming too much social media. You are picking up words that will destroy your life. You know what you will do? Say to yourself, believe me, a lot of people can't think for themselves. Just take that to the bank. A lot of people can't think. You think they can think because they made the first class? That's just function. That's just educational thing. A lot of people can't think. And you'll be surprised at how much you are being molded by the words that you hear. They will destroy you. Just be your own person. And whosoever your name is, created in the image and likeness of God, it is well with me. My trajectory is upward and forward only. Speak words into your own life. Determine where you're going to in life. Stop regurgitating nonsense, because this is nonsense. You know, I hear was, sorry, you will forgive me here. I hear was like Gen Z, Gen T's, Gen that. It's fine. Maybe it defines the demography. But outside of that, Gen Z, my name is XYZ. I know where I'm going to in life. Be a leader. Many people will follow you because many people don't even know what they want to do with their lives. Be a leader. Be a leader. Be a leader. You change the country. Thank you and God bless.
All right. Okay, so first of all, I appreciate your point of view, Ma. I appreciate your point of view, sir, especially about education. Before I answer, Nigeria happened to me. And I really want to call out stakeholders in education, including parents especially. So last week I was talking with, so where I served in Delta State, and I served in a secondary school. And I did some things to try to help the students see that, you know, academic excellence, personal development was very important for them. And so after leaving, I've been in contact with the school. And they were telling me about how a lot of parents just don't want their children to explore certain fields. They want them to be the same doctor, lawyer, teacher, not teacher, nobody wants their child to be a teacher. Doctor, lawyer, and then their potentials are locked away. And it's a lot. And the person who was speaking with me is I think the director of the arts department in that school. And he was really pained because so much potential is locked and parents are not helping. Teachers are obviously not interested. The curriculum is nothing to write about. And so even within the small space of the school, they're trying to do something different beyond just talks. So I'm calling out to stakeholders in education, and this is because, again, everything that we see, everything that we learn, that we experience, children, young people are absorbing these things, and it's going to become what they model. In as much as parents do their job at home to teach their children leadership, and that's why I really appreciate Daystar. I really think that the education sector is somewhere to really look into if we're going to build a better nation. That being said, now Nigeria happened to you. Sir and Ma, I understand your sentiments. I understand the power of positive thinking. I understand who I am. I know who I am. But the truth is, Nigeria has happened to people. People have lost loved ones because of the negligence of medical practitioners, because there's simply no ambulance to get them to the hospital. People have lost opportunities. Potentials are dying. And there's just so much. The last news I heard, I told my cousin, I don't listen to news. It's a personal decision. I don't listen to news anymore because obviously bad news make headlines. However, bad news are actually real news because they did happen to people. People died. People lost jobs. People went from middle class to bottom of the ranks. Nigeria has happened to a lot of people. And so, yes, it is our personal responsibility to reframe our mindset, shift our focus, and do what we can. But at the same time, it doesn't neglect the fact that that's a reality, that people are genuinely suffering. And I think that people with the privilege of exposure, okay. And I think that people like us with the privilege of exposure, privilege of experience, privilege of education should have a responsibility to not just tell those people who Nigeria has happened to suck it up and move on, but to put in place things that would recover. And I know that you're doing so much already. I know, sir and ma, that you're doing so much already. But then again, it is a reality.
Okay, so excellent. Omotola, you are very on point. And let me say one thing, because I think people are also misunderstanding when I said I do not. No, we need to leave here. So let me give my statement and move on. Nigeria happened to me means that it's the point of view that you take it. I am not saying that people have not lost loved ones. The person that died this week, we all know her. It was very unfortunate and sad. And the conversation I had with my husband was, I believe that the news station should take it up and make it a campaign. And I would gladly follow that campaign and build up on it. So there are things that we can do. But I am not taking it from the point of, Nigeria has happened to us, that we should just give up. I'm taking it from, let's not be in that state of learned helplessness. Yeah. Let us look at how do we find solutions. So I see the problems, but I do not say, forget the problems. I say, what is the solution that I'm going to bring out of this? That is the direction. Thank you.
Thank you. So what are the key takeaways from our conversation? 1, take responsibility for a problem you see. 2, take the burden to God in prayer. 3, pray for God to give you a heart for the country. 4, Nigerian problem can only be solved by willing and able Nigerians. If you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land, says scripture. Stand for what you believe in, pray for our leaders, and get involved in community organization and local administration. Together, please rise. And like the last line in the drama series we watched, and that's our conclusion. Let us fix it. In your own little way, you can fix it. Put your hands together for Gbemi, for Tunde, and for Omotola. Thank you very much. Happy Independence and happy 30th anniversary to Daystar.
Daystar, raising role models.